Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Joe Chaffee, SSStormChasing.com, meteorologist JoeChaffee.com, WeatherLongIsland.com on this Monday morning, where I think models are pretty much leaving me in a state of confusion. So let's take you along what we're seeing this morning. First off, we have an approaching weather front, and you can pick it out right here on the satellite loop moving across the Great Lakes. It's a narrow band of clouds that extends southward. And you can see there's more moisture that builds up back in the Gulf states through Texas. But it's kind of not that I want to say it's a weak front, but it's just sort of occluded out. There's not a whole lot of moisture that's zooming up into this. So we have a fair amount of sunshine to start today, and I think we'll see some clouds start to arrive during the afternoon, but it's really not going to have much consequence in terms of causing the day to be a problem. We'll get into some rain showers later tonight through at least part of Tuesday as this front moves on through and then begins to slow down. Now, I want to show you what the models are doing with this, because they're kind of consistent at least into the middle part of the week. So let's show you first the NAM model, and there you have. Now we're into this afternoon. Now, sometimes the NAM tends to overdo moisture ahead of these fronts, so I'm not really buying all the shower activity that it shows back through eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey by late this afternoon. It's probably more aloft than anything else. It's when this main band comes in overnight, probably after about midnight or so. It actually moves into western areas before that and then moves across into tomorrow morning, kind of takes its time, actually has another reload during the morning hours for the coastal areas, and then gradually the area sort of shifts southward. Now, it gets a little confusing with the forecast beyond Tuesday because we have low pressure that's dropping down from the Great Lakes, and we're still not 100% sure how models are going to handle this, but it does generate some showers here Wednesday night into Thursday morning. You can see them there, kind of blotchy in nature on the NAM model. A little more organized, though, when we look at the GFS. And this is because of the fact that it's got much more of a coastal low that it tries to bring up. Actually, with a big high to the north, it sets up a little bit of a pressure gradient here over us with a southeast wind. So, I mean, I hope this is right, because this could generate a decent amount of rain for Thursday night into Friday, and even a bit beyond that as that low kind of rotates back westward. Now, models are not all in sync with this in terms of timing and position, so I just want to point that out. And now, having said that, we're going to jump to the tropical system, because this is going to be a player of some sorts for somebody, and I think we need to start focusing our attention on this. We've been talking about this. We started, let's call it a more intense conversation about it yesterday. Here's our tropical wave. It is actually a well-defined tropical wave, deep moisture field. It has gotten a little better organized during the overnight period. And unlike past waves, it should be pointed out, and Levi Cowan of Tropical Tidbits pointed this out yesterday. There's dry air to the north and also some African dust, and you can kind of pick it out in the darker gray. But this wave, this large wave with this embedded moisture field, seems to be isolated from that, and it's in a very deep layer flow that goes from the lower tropics right up into the eastern Caribbean. So this could be a reason why the system is going to develop possibly into a tropical storm as it approaches the eastern Caribbean. That doesn't happen very often, nor does seeing tropical systems strengthen in the eastern Caribbean happen very often. Usually conditions aren't too favorable there. We actually have some dry air to the west of this tropical wave, but the impressive looking nature of this wave lets us think that perhaps we're going to see this thing develop into something fairly quickly over the next couple of days. And then we start to look at what the longer term pattern is. I'm showing you something a little different today. These are the ensemble runs, and I want to go back to the ones that came out at 0Z, which is the ones from yesterday evening. rather than the mid-run. I want to show you this first, but you can see this tropical system moves across the Eastern Caribbean. Now, the ensembles basically are, in this case, it's the GFS ensemble. So it's a bunch of GFS models, and each one has kind of a different parameter to it. So it sort of looks at an average of all those models. The operational model, which is what we show you, is different from, it's one of the ensemble, it's an ensemble member. When we look at this, as you start to get more and more in time, there's a bigger and bigger spread. So all these little red numbers are actually showing you positions of what the different ensemble members are doing with this. And you can see that there's a large variation as we move into the middle part of next week with regards to where this tropical system is going to be. Some of the model members have it down over Florida. There seems to be a concentration of members off the southeast coast, and another one off the mid-Atlantic coast. And over time, it kind of wants to shift it and bring it northward. So this is what the ensemble members do. It's just a forecast tool. I would just suggest that you can't really put a lot of stock into this as you go deeper in time, because as you saw those isobars, they get further and further apart. Now, we've had a change in the model run in the 6Z GFS, in that it recurves this very quickly to the north and to the east and out to sea. This is different from what the 0Z did, which was to take this as a hurricane and basically bring it up the coast. Okay, the European, on the other hand, just to show you that, because of course that has to be completely different, and it is, it actually is slower and would imply at this point that this thing could move northwestward toward the southeast coast of the United States. And the reason why I'm saying that is that when we look at the upper air with the European, it's a totally different view. It's got another system that's coming along in the southern stream and creates a southerly flow from Florida up into the mid-Atlantic states. So you can see where the alleyway is with the European model. I'm just going to tell you that, and this is just ridiculous in terms of what we're going to be seeing shifting from run to run. Here's the GFS from the overnight, and this looks like yesterday's European, where it leaves this cutoff and turns the flow west-southwest along the east coast and takes this right over Bermuda. Prior to that, when we go back a run before, it was back to this idea of the cutoff along the east coast pulling out, and then a deep trough to the west coming in and kind of picking it up and straddling it along the coast as it moves to the northeast. The bottom line is that we're going to see these. This is worse than a winter storm, but we're going to see this continue in terms of the model runs as we go forward. I think at this point we can say that Matthew is going to be a player for somebody. We're just going to have to watch to see how models evolve. My primary focus right now is trying to figure out really how much rain are we going to get this week once this weather front starts to its approach on for tomorrow, and what happens for Wednesday and beyond, because I would like to see this be a substantial rain producer for us, considering the fact that we've got this really serious drought going on. And I'll just show you. We'll switch out to the GFS. And I'll put the northeast here so we can see the rainfall, and let's back it up so we can get into a time frame. So this is the 6Z run, which actually produces a substantial amount of rain through next Sunday, which I'm very happy to see if this is correct, because we're in the purples here. So this would be a 1 week total rainfall of somewhere between 3 and 6 inches across the area. That's the 6Z. The 0Z was pretty much the same. So these model runs seem to be consistent, at least from the standpoint of rainfall for this week. And this could be a nice, serious dent in the drought should this play out. Okay, so have a great day ahead. We'll, of course, keep you updated with latest posts on meteorologistjoechaffee.com. with regards to the rainfall for this week, with regards to the tropical wave that's likely to become a tropical storm. And by the way, the Hurricane Center rates it a 90% chance of becoming a tropical storm over the next few days. And ssstormchasing.com, meteorologist joechaffee.com, weatherlongisland.com.